like it.
This bottle, my favorite brand of, do you guys like coconut water?
Mm-hmm.
This brand, Harmless Harvest. Roly Poly's back.
What up, guys?
He also felt compelled to take a picture of this weenie, as he called it. How Berliner of you. We're leaving Berthoud Pass now. We've got like 2,000 feet immediately to gain out. It's a really good thing we got that rest, because this is rough again. I guess it is the 5th of July, but I've never seen so many day hikers in one spot in my entire life. We passed like hundreds of people in the last 2 miles at Berthoud Pass. I guess this is a pretty popular trailhead, which I had no idea. So we basically are following this ridge for the next 2 days until we get into Grand Lake. We'll dip in and out of the trees, but it should be one of the last long ridge walks like this in Colorado. I've also got a secret today. Most of the people who are hiking with me don't know this, but a friend that we made while being Trail Magic last year set up cooking raw roasted hamburgers at the bottom of this hill. So we'll see how the surprise goes. Everybody's coming down now. We could have done another ridge walk alternate to go around this decline, but I think everybody around here is a little bit ridged out for now. I guess I should mention that we did have a great time on 4th of July. We had a well-needed zero, and you know, accommodations provided by Zoolander's parents, which we're very thankful for. Saw a drone show and everything. One of our friends visited though, and he was very adamant and serious about a suggestion for altitude sickness. He's asked if we have been taking Viagra. I don't know that I've ever heard that before. I don't know that I'm going to try, but I could imagine it would help with some weight savings, because you could probably send home my trekking poles. Because if the weather gets bad, I'll just lay on my back and my don't need an A-frame anymore. Tent just, you know, works however it works. Does anybody actually know? Does Viagra actually help with altitude? Probably not, but
Doubt it.
it's like your mayo idea from the desert.
Yeah.
Cover your whole fucking body in mayo. What a great suggestion. We'll add this to the list. It's been so like quiet just hiking with you, Clover.
Yeah.
And now it feels like we have like a task force. Yeah, right behind me is Goosebump, who's one of the quietest people on trail. So I'm not sure if she's even gonna show up in this video. She might be like a vampire or something. You might need a mirror, but we'll see. We are getting closer. I can smell it. I did unfortunately have to put my foot down and kind of break the secret, because they were feeling like I was being a little bit demanding about where we stopped, like a slave driver. And to save my own social graces, I had to kind of tell. We've been here for like 4 hours. We got sucked into the vortex. Everybody's getting drunk, setting up camp in the woods. He got us.
Definitely something to.
We've convinced the Germans to try the smelling salts.
They're addicted now.
Yeah. I know it's not quite the same substance they gave you guys back in the 40s to keep you marching forward, but it'll keep you awake for a little while.
Glad to hear.
It was definitely the one where I stayed the longest. For good reason.
Yeah.
I was adamantly told no more ammonia crystals, so he's gonna get left behind probably. There's no other physical way to wake him up. So that's just what we've got. Clover is awake, but a little bit later than us. But we get to start the day with an immediate 3,000 foot climb. So that's great. So we got caught in the vortex yesterday at Dr. Zoom's Trail Magic and just stopped hiking at the middle of the day and decided to get drunk instead. Overall, great idea. Looking back on it, walking up this 3,000 foot climb. We'll report back later. For what it's worth, it was good trail magic. Burgers, brats, beer, sodas, fire, kind of everything you want. So it's not you can't really fault us for making that decision. It's really pulley, but no matter how far up you go, you'll always find some weirdo skiing on a patch of snow the size of your thumbnail. All right, finally to the top of James Peak. Grand Lake is that way. We're gonna spend the next 2 days following this ridge and then dropping down and getting to the lake, which you can see off in the distance over here. We have 39 miles to Grand Lake and only 3,000 feet of gain, which is a really, really low amount, so morale is high. The trail's virtually disappeared at this point, but that's to be expected. It is the CDT. It's not hard hiking though, so not too worried about it. Apparently they used to have like a dining hall up here. I wish they still did. Getting into the Indian Peaks Wilderness. Okay, it's after lunch. We're kind of approaching the Devil's Thumb feature, and then we're going to drop down below tree line, which is nice because this is like the 4th or 5th trail day straight where we've been above tree line on a ridge. It's just been so exposed for so long. We're just ready to go down. And that's what we get. We get a nice gradual downhill into Grand Lake over 20 or 30 miles or so, starting here shortly. So that's going to be really nice. So this is the Devil's Thumb. It's difficult to see the shape of it because it's really in the background, but it's really just a spire sticking out of this rock face right here. Here's a closer look at the Devil's Thumb. It's funny, every time you go through a burned area, it still feels hot even years later, just because everything's black and it absorbs the sunlight, all the ash on the ground. It literally is like 10 degrees hotter here than anywhere I've been today. Now I'm getting closer to Junco Lake Trailhead, which is another spot we did trail magic at last year. I think the trail stewards sometimes have fruit there too, which would be awesome. Been incredibly tired today. Woe is me. We're here at Junco Lake Trailhead. They've abandoned us There's no free food here. Just privies. Not a single person in the parking lot. What a despicable time. Sunday on 4th of July weekend. And this is what we get. Okay, we're solemnly pushing on. We're gonna try to camp by an old cabin. I didn't film much yesterday evening, and I'm in an empty campsite now because I am sick. I've had projectile vomiting all night, didn't sleep. Clover, understandably, doesn't want to get sick, and he can't really help me anyways, so he split off earlier. This has happened to some degree on every thru hike I've been on. It's one of the worst feelings ever, is just being sick and being stuck in the woods. I have to still walk 19 miles today to get to town. It's a good motivator, but fuck, this sucks. Thank God this is almost entirely downhill today, or this would be a true nightmare. I still have to do some, ups and downs, but I could not do a real climb today. I gotta say, when I've been in situations like this, you look at, it seems daunting doing 19 miles in this state, and your natural inclination is to just kind of grasp onto something and say, oh, it's gonna be easy or whatever like that. In my experience, the opposite has been more effective, of just looking at it head on and thinking, this is gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be one of the worst days on trail, and there's nothing you can do about it. But it will be a memory of the past at some point in the near future. It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. I'm not gonna die of vomiting here. I'm 20 miles from a town. And honestly, when you look at it like that, it kind of feels better. Like, I don't feel as bad. It's just kind of, it feels more diffuse or like theoretical, I guess, at that point. The discomfort is just, it's like a figment of my imagination. And somehow it works. I don't really know, but yeah. Like, nobody's gonna be waiting at any of these trailheads with a fruit smoothie for me, or a camper van with a bed and air conditioning for me to lay down in. And that's okay, because nausea is not real, effectively. Caught up with some others here, and we're trying to figure out what bird this is. Yeah, I don't know, those aren't native from where I live, so I don't know that off the top of my head. It's very large.
It's huge. That's why I'm thinking golden.
So I was completely wrong about the amenities available. So it turns out at the bottom of that hill there's a private campground that gave me a cheap site, and I can use their shower facilities. And they have a camp store with nice drinks and stuff. And they were nice enough to let me sleep on a couch in their lounge for the last 5 hours, which kind of helped a lot. So maybe I was wrong about the stoicism bullshit. Alright, it's a little bit after 6 p.m. Been improving. I was able to hold some food down, and I've drank a ton of electrolytes and stuff, so I'm hoping that if I can just sleep hard tonight, maybe I'll be able to get up in the morning and do the meager 14 flattish miles into Grand Lake. Then hopefully this will be behind me. Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I got like 14 miles to go to town, and I feel a lot better today, so it should be good. And I'll be able to eat real food in a restaurant. Maybe a fruit smoothie somewhere. Fingers crossed. It's actually really nice. Going to be walking along the lake for a while. Also, this is an enormous bird on top of this. Gonna get closer to see what it is actually. It's definitely like some kind of eagle. Maybe a juvenile bald eagle or something, because I know they're brown. It's the same kind of bird. I think I saw it yesterday. But the only reason I'm saying it was an eagle with confidence is because it was so big. I've seen tons of hawks and ospreys and things along those lines, and this was a much, much larger bird. So that's what I'm going with for now. There's only one climb today, and I'm almost done with it. I definitely feel better than yesterday, but I'm way more hot and tired than I should be for just 800 feet of climbing here. But like I said, it's almost over. This is Lake Granby I'm looking over to. First national park on the trail. Feels so different. I wonder what they'd think if I started projectile vomiting in here. Is that against the rules? This spells danger. This is like a really enclosed part of trail, and I can't go down it because there's just a moose calf in the middle of it. I don't know where the mom is, but he's there. Let's see, is there a giant mother moose around? Hello? Anybody else around here? Where's your mom? Where's your mom? Get. Oh my God. It's a showdown now. I'm not trying to come after you. I'm just trying to go to the left over here. I'm going this way. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not always the most afraid of wildlife or anything, but when they ran off, I thought they were gone, and then I ended up in the middle of this corridor surrounded by brush, and that calf was hiding behind the mom, and I couldn't really move left or right without feeling like I was gonna make her on edge, so I was a little bit worried there. For anyone who's not super familiar with the dangers of moose, they're about the size of a Clydesdale, you know, and they are known to trample people. I'm pretty sure more people have gotten killed by moose than bears. So when, you know, they get startled or feel defensive, or, you know, like they're defending a calf, they will clobber the fuck out of you.
Natural. Now Granby goes way up and way down. You walk by Granby for a good ways.
We're in Grand Lake, and I've got to say, I think we need to start like an old person dating service here in this town. I've been here for like an hour and got stuck in like 3 different geriatric 30-minute conversations.
Yeah, you're trying to date them old women.
No, I'm saying we need to put them together. That old guy who walked with a mile with me in town needs to be mixed up with this woman who just talks about being on oxygen tanks for the last 20 minutes. Jesus. Nice people, but there's a lot of lonely old motherfuckers in this town.
Yeah, you just